You are completely unconscious, zero awareness, drooling on your pillow, helpless, and somewhere out in the dark a lion was awake. 300,000 years ago, no walls, no roof, no door, no lock, just you, your tribe, and open savanna. Lions, leopards, hyenas, real ones. Not the zoo kind, the kind that hear your heartbeat from 50 years away, smell you from a mile out, and see perfectly in the pitch black while you're just lying there, eyes closed, completely gone. And yet, every single morning they wake up every time, unbothered, uneaten. How? That question has an answer. And it is more insane than you think. And out of there in the dark, lions, leopards, hyenas, creatures that have been apex hunters for millions of years, creatures that own that night, and your ancestor just laid down, right in the middle of their territory, and went to sleep. Sounds like a death wish, but here's the thing, it worked every night for 300 years. And the reason why? There are actually several reasons, and stacked together, they print the most insane picture of human survival you ever heard. Let's go through every single one. Reason 1, and this is gonna sound like an ego trip, but it's actually just science. You are terrifying, not specifically sitting there watching this, but humans as a species to predator, we are genuinely deeply evolutionary fighting. We're talking Stone Age, 300,000 years ago, East Africa. Picture this. It's not a neighborhood, not a city, not even a village. It's just wild. Open savanna. Predators everywhere. No roof over your head, no bed, no pillow, just you, your tribe, some animal skins on the ground, and the sky above is slowly going dark. The sun goes down, boom, that's it. That's I's bedtime. Not 11 p.m., not after one more episode. The moment the sky turns dark, your body starts shutting down. Not because it chooses to, because your brain starts floating with melatonin the second it stops detecting sunlight. And your entire ancient nervous system goes, 8. We done for the day, time to go unconscious in the field full of lions. And you do it because that's how deep this programming goes. Because researchers at the University of Michigan actually studied 3 modern hunter-gatherer tribes, the Harsa in Tanzania, the San in Namibia, the Simani in Bolivia, tribe that still live without electricity today, and what they found was wild. Published in Current Biology 2015, these people go to sleep on average 3 hours after sunset. They wake up just before or right at sunrise. Total sleep, average 6 to 7 hours, not 9, not 10, not the 8 hours your wellness app is begging you to get. Around 6 to 7, and they wake up feeling completely fine. No alarm, no coffee, no essential dread. Here's the proof. In 2019, researchers at UC Santa Cruz played audio recordings of human voices near mountain lions in California. Normal human voices, people just talking. And the pumas failed. Same rate they flee from barking dogs, and in many cases faster. These are animals that take down full-grown deer like it's nothing. They heard a podcast and ran. But here's the part that will break your brain. They didn't just run. They left their food they already killed, food they were in the middle of eating, and they heard a human voice nearby and walk away from their meal. Think about what that means. Hunger is one of the most powerful forces in nature, and the discomfort of being near a human beat it every time. And it wasn't just mountain lions. Lions in Africa's Kruger National Park reduced their movement in areas with high human activity. Tigers in India gave wide breadth to villages. Even those villages sat right in the middle of the prime hunting habitat. Jaguar in the Amazon rerouted entirely just to avoid where humans have been. They aren't animals physically incapable of hacking. They're animals that decided at a species level that being near us just isn't worth it. Why? Because we have been hunting and killing large predators for so long and so effectively that we literally shaped their genetics. Humans have been active predator for around 2 million years, and those sleep cycles, same as yours. Every 90 minutes, light sleep, deep sleep, REM. Your ancient ancestors were running those 4 to 5 cycles at night. Same brain, same architecture, same hardware, just different software, different timing. Now let's talk about where and how these people slept. Because this is also wild. They didn't sleep flat on the ground. And that's actually a myth. Archaeologists have found evidence going back to 200,000 years in South Africa at the Chibuto Cave site that ancient humans deliberately built sleeping platforms. Layers of plant material, grasses, leaves, sometimes ash underneath to repel insects. Slightly elevated off to the ground to avoid snakes, moisture bugs. They were picking the safest, most strategic spot in the camp, not too close to the fire, not too exposed to wind. They were engineering this sleep environment with zero tools and zero Home Depot. and they absolutely did not sleep alone. This may be the single biggest differences between Tony sleep and your 2 a.m. doom scrolling solo season. Ancient humans sleep in groups always. Not just because it's too cozy, because it was survival strategy. You got a group of people, you got rotating live sleep, somebody's always just barely awake to enough to hear if something moves in the dark, natural alarm system. No subscription required. A 2017 study published in the Proceedings of Royal Society B actually confirmed this. We hunted mammoth out of existence. We wiped megafauna off entire continents. The lions that approached human camps too badly got killed. The owls that preyed of human settlements hunted down. The predators that keep their distance, that treated humans as something to avoid, they survived. They reproduced. They passed that inherent caution to their offspring, generation after generation after generation, until the fear became biological, became instinct, became the baseline behavior of every large predator alive today. Reason to fire. The single most underrated survival tool in the human story. Here's something wild. Fire is one of the only stimuli that produces a near universal fear response across virtually every land animal on Earth. Lions, bears, wolves, doesn't matter. You show them fire, they back off. Not because they learned to, because they were born with it. Animals that were afraid of fire survived wildfires by running. Animals that weren't, didn't. That fear got baked into the DNA of every land creature alive, and humans figured this out, probably by accident at first, then on purpose every single night. A campfire doesn't just keep you warm, it broadcasts a signal into the surrounding dark that says something dangerous is here, something that controls fire, something that sounds should be avoided. That predators got that message, and they've been getting it so long, for literally a million years, and that message doesn't need to be decoded anymore. It just triggers the voidness automatically every time. Humans figure out fire as a predator repellent before we figure out farming, before pottery, before writing, before any of it. Fire first, smart move. And here's the part that predators hate most. It wasn't just one sleeping human, it was a group, and that changes everything. Predators across the animal kingdom understand groups dynamics at a deep level because they are prey animals also from groups. They didn't just attack prey, they hunt for separation. They look for the isolated individual, the one that fell behind, the one that got cut off. A camp full of sleeping humans is not an isolated individual. It's a group that the second one person wakes up and reacts will bring everyone else wake with them. That collective response is one of the most dangerous things in nature, and every larger predator knows it. But here's nobody talks about. Your sleep is not deep as you think. This is actually one of the most insane things in human biology. You go through sleeps in cycle, down into deep slow wave sleep, then back up into lighter stages in floating REM, where your brain is actually quite active. And during those lighter stages, researchers found something remarkable. Your brain remains surprisingly responsive to the environment around you. Unfamiliar sounds more likely to break through than familiar ones. A twig snapping, a larger animal moving through brush, a change in the air that comes with something big approaching. These things can pull you toward walking faster than you believe. Scientists call this sentinel function of sleep. Even while resting, your brain is still filtering the environment, still flagging threats, still running a watch. The humans who sleep too deeply, completely unresponsive to nighttime threats, were more likely not to wake up at all. The lighter sleeps, the one who could go from sleep to on there in 2 seconds, were the one who survived and reproduced and passed that hair trigger wakefulness down to you. Right now, inside your biology, you are not helpless, you are running a threat detection system in your sleep. That midnight wake window wasn't an accident, it wasn't isomania, it was a built-in security check. Tend the fire, scan the perimeter, make sure the predator that wasn't circling 3 hours ago had moved on, then go back down for round 2. Your ancestors wasn't bad sleepers, they were running a night watch in shift every single night. Now here's the part that will genuinely break your brain. We have been so effective at making the natural world afraid of us that it's now chasing the problems we've never anticipated. That same 2019 UC Santa Cruz study didn't just find the pumas afraid of humans, it found that this fear cascades through the entire food web. When pumas avoid areas with human activity, the deer in those zones face less protection. Deer population sports, they overgraze vegetarian. Meanwhile, medium predators, coyotes, foxes, bobcats also reduce presence near humans. So rodent population they normally control start expanding every shifts because of us. Because the fear we generated over millions of years radiates outward so the entire ecosystem like a single. We reshape the behavior of every predator layer on the continent without ever directly interacting with most of them, just by being there, just by being the thing that evolution told them to be afraid of. The most dangerous animal on this planet is the one figured out fire before it figured out anything else. The one that's been shaping ecosystem, not just the what it eats, but the what it makes other things afraid to eat. The one that sleeps light, travels in groups, and carries 300,000 years of successful survival in its DNA, that's you. That's what you are. So yeah, next time you are lying in the dark and you feel that little pulse of ancient anxiety, that's fine. The feeling keeps your ancestor alive. The thing outside, it knows better.